Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with yet another reaction for today. Midoriya Shonen! It's good to see you as always. Time to get started with today's chapter of My Hero Academia, so let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, starting with the second reaction for today, coming off of a very big One Piece chapter. Time to see where the story of My Hero Academia leaves us on. Because in the chapter 1071, wait. This is still One Piece. Why am I still over here? In the chapters of, not 171, I meant to say chapters 377, it pretty much saw the UA Fortress coming under attack by Skeptic, Shigaraki getting his powers back because, what is his name? Not Monitor, but Manual losing his grip on Monoma and everyone getting tossed aside. This big body part of Shigaraki's stretching out of his body and causing the entire UA Fortress to, implode where the force field was, and that's imploding. And then, as Shigaraki says, sit down for a little chat at the mall. What do you want to do? What if I told you that it's me here right now? What would you want to do? Sit down for a chat at the mall? That ain't happening here, hero. After all, I am your villain. And then Midoriya realizes that it's Shigaraki that's in there right now, not the aspect of All for One. And as Skeptic is trying to wreak havoc on the systems of the UA Fortress, he gets interrupted by Labrava, who says, "But nothing's too much for me, because this is all for Gentle's sake." So now we get to see what happens in the next chapter, as Labrava is dealing with Skeptic. Task Force HQ. The evacuation system is down. Signal interference is preventing contact. There's a request from Gungai that they need backup. And then it cuts to Labrava as she's there with at Task Force HQ as she's working hard against Skeptic. "I'm remembering something from my days as a shut-in. Just for practice, I once wormed my way into Feel-Good Incorporated server and replaced all the ads with, what was it? OptiKitty, yeah! The code's functions are wildly long, and the scope of the variables is nuts. I gotta say, your coding habits haven't changed much since then." And this is when Labrava broke into Feel Good Incorporated server, which is something that was affiliated with Skeptic. "Huh? That was you? We took a massive financial hit from that." "Oh, oops, my bad." And then OptiKitty just pops in all over Skeptic's entire systems, and it just keeps going over and over, and it's just dancing bobblehead cats over and over. The Da-Pump dance! Da-Pump, D-A Pump dance. The Da-Pump dance! Make it stop! Darn it, she's taking over every single one of my systems! I won't relinquish UA or the evacuation system. Those two most accursed ones! As it shows Skeptic trying to get his crew to, keep things running as he's trying to keep UA and the evacuation system down. "You've pinpointed my location, haven't you? What if I flee? You still lose. The flames of revolution won't be doused." And then it cuts to one of the members who's there with Tsukauchi. Skeptic is really wanting this entire fortress to just come down. He does not care if the young people who are there die. These dudes really is a villain. But it cuts to one of the members of the task force with Tsukauchi going, "Tsukauchi! UA's altitude is continuing to drop. It's hurtling towards the ground. It won't stop." And then it cuts to one going, "Haiba, hurry up and do something. The system got wrecked by that last impact. I'm trying to code a brand new program so that the surviving section can keep the joint in the air." And then one goes, "There's not enough time. There's not enough time, though." And then Tsukauchi, we should have known it was a bad call to leave our final key line of defense to and then it cuts to that same dude going, "We should have known it was a bad call to leave our final key line of defense to a convicted villain in custody." And then it cuts to Tsukauchi, who just goes, "A crime is a crime, and we can't erase the past, but it's not always a lost cause." And he thinks of Aoyama. And then it cuts to Shigaraki as he faces off against Midoriya. I am your villain. I don't care if you don't understand. That's what makes us heroes and villains. As it shows Midoriya, who's still in his full cowling state, staring down Shigaraki, who's just reveling in the fact that he's got his body back. Then it cuts up to, Mandalay. It cuts to Mandalay as she goes, We've lost control! Prepare for a crash landing! What now? Get ready to fight! And then it shows a bunch of twice just erupt all over the fortress. Ah! A bunch of twices! Monoma! Sensei! And then it cuts to the bombers. The bombers that were flying with Star and Stripe. They're flying alongside the UA Fortress right now. Ethan, those villains are asking for a taste of our lasers. And hit our allies too? Oh, heck. They've been invaded from the inside, so our X-66 squadron can't... Wait, who's that? Yo! That is such a magnificent entrance! That is such a magnificent entrance! Who is it that's in the air, bouncing on the air? Who is it that has the quirk that allows him to make the air bouncy so he can bounce on it? Who's looking in utter shock as Skeptic sees a whole bunch of heroes directly in front of Skeptic? We were given a heads up on your location, Mr. Skeptic. Oh wait, that's Miss Laugh. That's Miss Laugh who's there. We were given a heads up on your location, Mr. Skeptic. Made sense for us to nab you since we were in the area. Fate works in funny ways. And then, it's funny how the very same Mad Dog hero takes his muzzle off, and he thinks back to the day that he arrested this one criminal. As Tsukauchi goes, It's up to you, Tobita. You've got this, Gentle! It's Gentle Criminal! He's there, just bouncing in front of the UA Fortress, looking at it. Naturally, this is the least I owe the boy. Whew! About a month and a half ago, at Mikuzu prison after the assault on Tartarus, and it shows a whole bunch of villains breaking out of Tartarus, including Muscular. The living quarters got busted wide open! With this, you're all free now. Your lives are your own now. Do as you see fit. Well, free? You really mean it? Am I dreaming here? Time for revenge on the scumbag that sold me out. I know someone out there who still needs a stabbing. Ha 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 ha! The world's gone wild, huh? And then it cuts to someone who's standing in front of all these villains as one hefty dude goes, "What you want, punk?" And then it's Gentle. He's like, his hair is disheveled and over his face, and his mustache and beard has grew out from him being in prison. I ask you, is this truly what you desire? The only people who can say they can't turn their lives around are the ones with no real desire to change. They're too impatient. They want results right away. And then Gentle, back then, I dashed headlong down the wrong path, without the courage to restrain myself. Darn right, it's what we want, moron! I want to be the guy to show them all a bright future. And then Gentle opens his eyes back then. And then Gentle, like, oh my goodness, the way Gentle is drawn in these panels is amazing. Yo, Gentle just having the water just whip up around him because he's near the ocean and he's bouncing in the air above the ocean, but having the water whip around him, I thought that only our being together would bring me joy. And then it cuts back to Gentle back then, a month and a half ago, where the prison he was stationed at, we have people going, 7 prisons came under attack, and only this one had no escapees. Because Gentle used his quirk to beat and restrain every single escapee from the Mikuzu prison that he was at. He kept everyone from escaping. Because he has steel girders that are elastic and bent around numerous other members. And who knows how many other destructive quirks these prisoners had. Gentle restrained them all. And then it cuts to the same ape man, the same ape heteromorphic officer that was there that was talking to Gentle way back when, as he goes, "What is it you want?" "Well, Tobita, I only wish to see La Brava, and then it cuts to La Brava, who's smiling and blushing, thinking of Gentle. "Absence makes the heart grow that much fonder." "I'm as greedy and stubborn as they come, you know. And your joy brings me loads more joy of my own, Gentle." "Gently super lover!" As Gentle uses the most powerful aspect of his quirk and creates an elastic cushion around the UA fortress to keep it. Someone said that what if Gentle shows up? I don't know who it was. Someone showed up on my last reaction of My Hero and says, what if Gentle showed up and uses his quirk to stop UA? You were right. I don't know who you were. I can't remember who said it specifically, but you were right. Gentle uses Gently Super Lover, and it causes the air to become elastic and stop the UA fortress from coming down. As he thinks, "Tell me, boy, do you once again find yourself fighting for the joy of others? On that fateful day, I only wished to save someone who'd fallen." And then it cuts to Mandalay as she goes, "We're saved? But how? It's like a trampoline made of air." And then Midoriya's thinking, "What? An air trampoline?" Sorry about that. But Midoriya is realizing, what? An air trampoline? And Gentle, with tears in his eyes as he's using the utmost power of his quirk, goes, "Yes, to be of service to others was my hope. Gentle!" And then it cuts to, what is his name? Banjo, the former user of One For All that had, the Black Whip quirk, as he goes, "Bad news, kiddo. The balance is broken. He's starting up again. We're not in free fall anymore." But the second his hand touches the ground, and as Shigaraki starts to put his hand towards the ground, something comes up and takes Shigaraki's hand completely off. Yo. A bullet just came through, but it's a weirdly shaped bullet. And then Tsukauchi continues. "No matter how far they've fallen, each villain is still a human being. It's on us to recognize that about them. We absolutely have to. To borrow a phrase from a friend, deep within each of their hearts, will find their starting point, their origin." And who is it that did this? Who is it that shot Shigaraki's hand off to keep him from using his decay quirk? And now we get the chapter number. Chapter 3, 78. Oh, wait. Who is it that stopped Shigaraki from touching the ground by shooting his hand completely off from way out in the distance, out on the outskirts of the ocean, way inland, with her own quirk rifle aimed directly at Shigaraki? It is none other than a partially healed up Lady Nagant. And now we get the chapter title name. Chapter 378. The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part 4. Okay, it's getting ridiculous, but oh, this was such a good chapter. This is such a good chapter. Gentle about to solo a whole prison. I was joking. He soloed a whole prison? Yes, he did. He did. He did. Here's the thing. Wonder how the tables will turn now, because Gentle is like a natural counter to Shigaraki, as in he can disintegrate, as in can he disintegrate air, but Gentle would just re-elastic it. Here's my thing. Shigaraki's quirk can't decay air because air is not something tangible that he can actually touch. Because if he was capable of decaying air, he would be able to just rob the air of everyone around him, but he can't do that. Gentle is a perfect counter to Shigaraki because Shigaraki won't be able to touch him. Sure, he can decay the elastic pieces of air, but it's air. It will always be there. He can just keep and the thing that helps him is that Gentle is actually a really good counter to Shigaraki, because even if Shigaraki tries to launch at him, Gentle can just make an elastic section, cause Shigaraki to be rebounded away from him, and keep himself safe. Now, my thing is Gentle showing up, the panel where he's just floating in the air, where he's just bouncing in the air, and you see like his collar back behind him. He doesn't have the big coat he had when he was facing off against Midoriya, when he was trying to break into UA during the sports festival, and well, not the sports festival, but during the Student Arts Festival? I forgot what festival it was. The name of it specifically. It's the one where all of Class 1A had that big rock party with Jiro at the forefront. I forgot the exact name of it. But seeing Gentle here, coming back into play, it's almost like seeing Mirio. It's almost like seeing Mirio come back when he surprised everyone, and to find out that he got his quirk back as well. Seeing him come back, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how much I miss this man. Because Gentle has to be one of the coolest villains turned heroes that I've seen. Like the way that Horikoshi has drawn him, like with his mustache and his beard, everything about Gentle is just gold. Because I love the way that Horikoshi has drawn Gentle. He's very noticeable, and when you see Gentle, it's all like, oh snap, look at this guy. But for Gentle to come back in the biggest way possible, because remember, in Gentle's origins, he tried to apply for UA, but failed every time. So at one point, people started to really discourage him and tell him that he had no makings of being a hero. You do all this failing, there's no way you could ever become a real hero, so he decided to become a villain. But he was a petty villain. But now, Gentle is doing something that the world will recognize. Those who spoke ill of Gentle when he was growing up trying to be a hero for himself, they're all going to look back at how they mistreated him and see that this Gentle is the reason why the UA Fortress is not going to continue falling. Gentle is the one who just saved everyone. Remember, UA Fortress is massive. It's massive. And using the bond between La Brava's quirk and also Gentle's quirk, your boy has been amped up. Because it's not just because with La Brava's quirk, it's like a love thing where she can give love to people that empowers them. But now Gentle is also being boosted by hope. This man is getting powered up by hope. And this man is so powerful right now. He's experiencing such an immense sense of power with just, being driven between the hope for the future of both him and La Brava. Not just the love that La Brava showed him, but hope that they both have for each other. It's enough for him to be powered up to the point where he just gently super lover. Like, oh, I gotta look this up. Gentle criminal. Man, my appreciation for Gentle is even greater. Is even greater than it's ever been. And then he has the elasticity quirk. And if I go to La Brava and pull up her quirk as well, because I want to make sure that I do this right. Okay, quirk. Love quirk. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got his elasticity quirk, and we've already seen how strong it is. But we have gently super lover, and with the combination of La Brava's love quirk, because the description of her love quirk is, love allows the user to power up a target by confessing their feelings for them. The more intense the user's love is, the stronger the power transmitted to the target. This empowering makes the target physically stronger and faster than usual. Manami and Danjiro referred to this empowered state as lover mode. Heart-shaped smoke appears around the body of the target when lover mode is active. Now, if I go back and look at Gentle, and you look around him, you don't exactly see heart shapes around him, but his whole body is massively empowered. And his body is smoking due to the effects of the lover mode. But this one is far more souped up, because if I go back to it, he goes and says he thinks absence makes the heart grow that much fonder. So the love that La Brava has for Gentle is even stronger since they've been away. So now your boy Gentle is experiencing a lover mode with feelings that La Brava has had for him that's even stronger than the moment we saw her use lover mode on him against Midoriya. His power has skyrocketed now. Just standing there, he's splashing the air around. Yes, this is why this is such a wonderful panel. He's just splashing the water around him, but none of it's touching him because it's just, I can't tell if he's rebounding it, but the fact that your boy is just the first time he shows up and he's bouncing off the air, I figured, like, that is such an amazing panel. It's such an amazing panel. Oh my goodness! Gentle has to be one of the best drawing manga anime characters I've ever seen. Because just looking at Gentle, it's all like, there's something about like this wild hair look, but his mustache and beard combo that just makes Gentle look perfect. I'm sorry if I'm just hyping up on this, but this was such a really, really good chapter. And he uses the fact that your boy back then, a month and a half ago, the reason why they're working with Gentle is because he thought about what he wanted to do with his life, but also because he restrained every single villain, every single Tartarus prisoner on his own. He soloed an entire prison full of dangerous people with quirks. He soloed a whole prison. Like, that's something you would hear only like Endeavor do, or Present Mike, or Aizawa, or even All Might do, soloing an entire prison and taking everyone down. Gentle, A man that can just make anything elastic, soloed an entire prison and kept everyone from escaping. Because during that period where All For One was having Muscular and his goons go around and breaking everyone out of prison, 7 prisons came under attack. But only the one that Gentle was at was the one where no one got out. Because he made sure no one got out. Gentle is a beast. He's a gentle beast. The noble, gentle beast of the leaf. Like, oh my goodness, I love Gentle so much. And for him to use Gently Super Lover to stop the fortress from hitting the ground, it stops. The whole place. The whole place just stops. And not only that, but we got Lady Nagant laying down some suppressing fire as well, which means that Shigaraki's hand is gone now. Shigaraki's hand has just been shot off completely by Lady Nagant and her special hair putty bullets. Midoriya, ain't it crazy how the people that Midoriya has fought against? It wasn't Tartarus, it was another prison. I think Gentle Super Lover is a new move. Oh, I know it's a new move because we've never seen him use a Gentle cushion this big. But one of your friends didn't like the Gentle arc. Maybe because he didn't read the manga. The Gentle arc was good. It was such a small detail that the one prison didn't get freed. I didn't even think about it. To think that this is what happened. Thank you, Horikoshi the GOAT. Like, really, I thought all the prisons. It wasn't Tartarus, it was another prison. There are multiple Tartarus prisons. There's not just one, Raul. There's multiple prisons. There's multiple Tartarus prisons. They're not just one specifically, but there are different numbered ones. Matter of fact, let me go here. Wait, is it Tartarus just the one? Is Tartarus just the one? Oh, okay. It's not multiple. It's not multiple. I know it's called Mikuzu Prison, but I was under the impression that I should have remembered that Tartarus is only the prison where the most high-end quirk villains are held. The other prisons are regular prisons, but not to the degree and standard that Tartarus is held to. Because that's the one where Muscular, Moonfish, All For One, Kurogiri, Lady Nagant, Overhaul, Dictator, Kunieda, and Stain were all imprisoned at. But Mikuzu Prison is another quirk prison, but not to the degree of Tartarus. And that's the name of the Tartarus member that I kept forgetting the name to, that is still facing off against Aoyama and Fat Gum. Kunieda. That's the one that we still have to go back to. But this was a great chapter. Remember that Muscular, aka Jailbreak, went around and broke prisons. I remember that. That's not lost on me, Raw. That's just the one Tartarus thing I got mixed up. But everything else I pretty much remember, so you don't need to worry about that. I think Gentle Super Lover is a new move. It's such a great detail. Yeah, we know. We know, Raw. But this was a great chapter. This was a really great chapter. And to think, I love, and here's one thing. You can tell it's going to be a really, really, really good chapter if Koiz, good to see you. Great chapter of My Hero. You can tell it's going to be a great chapter. You can tell you've read a great chapter of My Hero when Horikoshi leaves the title for the very end. Like the day, the story of how we all became heroes, part 4. Like, you got Lady Nagant out here fighting to stop Shigaraki, and now you got Gentle out here fighting to stop Shigaraki and protect everyone. And now you got La Brava dealing with Skeptic and hacking into his systems. Then you got Ms. Laugh and then Mad Dog out there ready to apprehend Skeptic. So Skeptic is about to be out of the picture very, very fast because he thought he was going to have a chance to get out. Did it have a 2-week delay, or are you just having amnesia from the exams? No, it did have a 2-week break. It had a 2-week day. It's Ms. Joke, I think. Ms. Joke? Am I just getting people's names mixed up? Like, all over? I'm thinking of her quirk, not her actual name. Yeah, her name is Ms. Joke, the smile hero Ms. Joke. Her quirk is Laugh. No, her quirk is called Outburst. Yeah, why would I call her Miss Laugh? See, I don't be remembering every single person's name. It's so cool that Skeptic's one loss is that he mentioned back in the MLA arc was La Brava. Another small detail used to the greatest extent. Why do you know this? You remember a lot more than I do. Then again, I don't dive regularly into My Hero Academia information all the time. So that's the reason why I don't remember everything. Like everything. I got a lot of knowledge up in here. I got to think about One Piece, My Hero Academia, The Beginning After the End, Solo Leveling, and Jujutsu Kaisen, and pretty much any other series that I'm getting into. So it's like my memory can be kind of shifty for some things. I can remember pinpoint accuracy on a lot of things, and then sometimes I just straight up get stuff mixed up. Yeah, and I'm grateful you guys are here to correct me when I am wrong. But The Beginning After the End, is it finished? No, it is not finished. But it's one thing, and I had to go back to this before I call this a session, before I call this an end, so that way I can eat the food that my family got me before I get started on Jujutsu. I'm going to eat my food first, and then how long until it's over? It's unknown because it's still ongoing. So if you're trying to wait until The Beginning After the End is finished, you got a long way to go. You got a long way to wait. You got a long time to wait. You got a long time to wait. Let me just say that now so you don't attempt to try and find out how long it is going right now. Imagine being one of the people complaining Horikoshi forgot Nagant. But my thing is, one thing I've noticed about Midoriya is that some of the people that he's beaten that actually he can resonate with and talk to, how funny it is that they wind up being someone that tries to help them. Like you got Lady Nagant, who was prepared to bring him down. And now you got Gentle, who is... I love my little sister. She brought my phone because I forgot it was in the other room. But ain't it funny how certain people that Midoriya interacts with, they wind up being his allies, even if some reluctantly wind up being his allies. And now you got Lady Nagant here, I wouldn't say fully conscious because she's on what appears to be a rooftop with a backing behind her, as her whole body is covered in bandages because, her All For One put like a bomb cork inside of her that would go off just in case she betrayed him. Her body is just covered in bandages, but she's still able to use her rifle quirk in order to help take down Shigaraki. My thing is, I don't think Shigaraki does Shigaraki have a super regeneration quirk within him? Turns out that most people who lash out are just hurt and will open their hearts to a compassionate soul. Way to go, Deku and all his friends and allies. My thing is, he really does. I am so excited to see what Nagant is thinking and feeling about the situation. Well, at least we don't need to worry about the bomb quirk going off on her again, because I feel like that's a one-time use, a assured way that All For One is capable of making sure that those who works with him don't have any uses outside of serving him. So that's something. I keep putting my face closer and closer to my mic, but you guys are right here, so that's my bad. But it's good to see Lady Nagant again and her lightning-fast reflexes. Now, the question is Shigaraki able to regenerate? Hold on, let me look this up. Is he able to regenerate? Because if he has, like, the ability to regularly regenerate, then shooting his hands off, it'll probably be good with delaying his ability to, touch, and because we don't even know if he's capable. Because as far as we know, he is only capable of decaying things with his hands. We've never seen him try and decay things with his feet or any other part of his body. So I believe if they keep shooting off his hands, if he's capable of regenerating, then they don't need to worry about his decay quirk as quickly. Like I'm looking at everything he has: accelerated growth rate, adaptation, visage generation, molting. He has decay. He has, okay, so he does have super regeneration. I forgot. He had that when he has that when Endeavor tried to burn him, but he just regenerated instantly. Don't correct me. I remember. But he does have super regeneration. He has search, air cannon, radio waves, rivet stab, heavy payload, scatter, spring-like limbs, and wings. So he has the ability to fly. Then former quirk was reflecting and new order. Because can you imagine if Shigaraki still had the power of Star and Stripe after he took that power from her? Thankfully, he doesn't have it. But Shigaraki has regeneration. So the question is how quickly he can regenerate. It's super regeneration, so I imagine it would be quick. And seeing as how if I go down here to the listing here, my hero does not go on break. So this series doesn't go on break. All in all, this was a great chapter. This may be cheesy of me to say, but I really feel Deku is someone we can actually learn from. He is one of my favorite characters in media. That's not cheesy. That's not cheesy at all. It just shows you how good of a character is for Midoriya to want to inspire people. For someone to actually learn from. That's not cheesy. That's smart writing. That's good writing. That's phenomenal writing. If you can get a fictional character to inspire you to be better than what you are. That's why Stan Lee's Alex and Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby and the characters they created, such as in Marvel, with characters that we look to for inspiration, those were great. Those are great characters. Midoriya is the same. It's not cheesy to think of Midoriya as a character that you can learn from. If they're written well, then of course you can be inspired by them. Like, look at All Might. He's an inspiration. Despite his failing body and the injuries he sustained, he's willing to put his life on the line to uphold the ideas of protect the innocent and be a symbol of peace, and that one person that everyone can look to think of, okay, tomorrow is going to come for the rest of us. He's an inspiration. Midoriya is the same way. Despite what some people may think of Midoriya, they may think he's cliche, they may think he's not even a good actual hero to look up to, but the things he's done from the beginning of My Hero Academia, when without thinking he ran out to save his best friend, someone he sees as his best friend, Bakugo, from the slime monster, which was enough to drive All Might to want to act. Seeing someone who didn't even have a quirk at the time, didn't even have superpowers at the time, be driven to protect, be driven to protect someone despite not having powers. And Body just instinctively went to protect. That already set Midoriya as a person to be inspired by. And everything he's done against every major villain he's had a big moment against just shows you that he's progressed from being just some quirkless kid to being an object of inspiration for heroes everywhere. So no. It is not cheesy of you to say. Because Midoriya is an inspiration of what all heroes should strive to be. Pretty much, all of Class 1A is a fine example of what all future heroes should strive to be. Do you like Bakugo? Because I think he was forgiven pretty quickly. Yeah, I like Bakugo. It just took him a little longer for him to realize that his whole mentality of doing things was wrong. The moment Bakugo became a much better character for me, because for me, Bakugo was like, yeah, I like Bakugo, but he needs to tone it down against Midoriya, because Midoriya didn't do nothing to him. The moment Bakugo showed up, while Midoriya was out searching for the Tartarus big guns of All For One, the moment Bakugo showed up to speak to Midoriya and says, I'm sorry for everything, and called him by his name, that's when Bakugo's character development just took a massive shift for the better for him as a character. That's when Bakugo became even greater. To me, that's when he became even greater. Like beforehand, he was kind of insufferable with the way he behaved. But after he apologized to Midoriya for everything, for the way he treated him throughout the years, for everything, and genuinely apologized, and has been trying to do better, yeah, Bakugo is so much better. But he's earned that. It took him realizing that he's not the end-all, be-all answer for every problem. He's not the best there is at what he does. And that there are other people, he can actually try to rely on other people, and he can actually see the goodness in people instead of just, seeing all their faults and calling them out on it. It was a defensive mechanism for him. Because growing up as a kid, Midoriya was always there to try and pick him up when he was down, but Bakugo got annoyed by it. Bakugo got annoyed that someone who didn't even have a quirk was, quote-unquote, looking down on him. But now that he sees that Midoriya doesn't really care what Bakugo thinks, he's going to do what he thinks is right regardless, Bakugo started to realize, maybe Midoriya's got something here. Maybe I should be the one learning from him. And Bakugo as a character became even better the moment he said I was sorry. That's when Bakugo became a very good character. Well, he was already a good character, but the moment he said he was sorry to Midoriya, as Midoriya was trying to push himself to the brink of sheer exhaustion, trying to find all these members of Tartarus to find where All For One was, that's when Bakugo became an even greater character than before. So yeah, I like Bakugo even more now than I did before. Would he get Edgeshot's quirk or part of it, or just would get a new heart? It remains to be seen. Edgeshot is putting his life, it seems to be he's laying down his life in order to save Bakugo. But we will cross that whole bridge when we get to it. My thing is, with the return of Labrava and Gentle, we have one less thing to worry about concerning the state of everyone on the UA Fortress. Because now that the UA Fortress is no longer threatened with, plummeting to the ground and killing so many people there, except for Shigaraki and Midoriya, now we just need to concern ourselves with beating Shigaraki. And we have to beat Shigaraki before All For One can get to where they are. Because remember, we have not only Shigaraki to concern ourselves with in the UA Fortress, but also the Twice clones of the Sad Man's Parade as well. Like the sea of Twice clones that is all throughout the entire fortress. So we got that going down. Plus, we have all the rest of the villains that are in the Gungai Mountains as well. What about Aizawa and the rest of the heroes? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I mean, it's so very easy to say, what's going to happen to Aizawa? What's going to happen to Manuel? What's going to happen to Aoyama? What's going to happen to everyone if we haven't seen them in the chapters? But we just got to wait. We just got to wait to see where Horikoshi takes things next. There's still a lot of loose ends to tie up, but we'll cross it when we get to it. I'm so excited that Naganta's back. She was an instant favorite for me. She's a beautiful, and I love her to death. My thing is, it's so cool that her hair is also part of her quirk, where her hair also, when she pulls it off, her hair is normal. When she pulls it off, she can shape it into bullets that she can use with her rifle arm quirk with deadly accuracy. And given the fact that her former profession was silencing heroes that were secretly working with villains, now she's fighting for the heroes. And her deadly accuracy, let me just say this. Not even normal bullets. Yes, that's why I said her hair turned into bullets. And Not even the fact that she was able to snipe Shigaraki from inland. And the UA Fortress, sorry, you forgot. No, you're fine. You're fine, Midoriya. I won't say them, but don't let me stop you from talking the way that you usually talk. But her being able to snipe Shigaraki all the way inland, and the fortress is all the way in the air. How did you get the angle to even shoot Shigaraki that way? Mind you, she's capable of creating bullets that can curve around spaces, but the fact that she was able to shoot him from inland while the UA Fortress is still out at sea. Ridiculous. Awesomely ridiculous. You know a character has the looks when they still look great mummified? Yeah, they do. Like, Lady Nagant, even though she has like all the bandages all over her, she still looks amazing. But I gotta go ahead and end it here. This was a phenomenal chapter of My Hero Academia, and I can't wait to read next week's chapter. It really was good. It really was good. It really was good. I enjoyed it. But seeing Gentle, though, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. 10 out of 10 for Horikoshi. He's always showing up and showing out when it comes to these chapters, and each one has been delivering. The story of how we all became heroes, part 4. I can't wait for next week's chapter, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. I'm going to take the time to go eat some food before I get started with Jujutsu Kaisen. So to everyone here, from Midoriya to Raul to Koiz to everyone here, all I can say is thank you. Thank you for showing up and enjoying what I do, because, you know, with this being my full-time job, I got to be consistent in order for me to, you know, be able to continue to do this as a job. But as I do this, it's really an immense honor and a privilege to be someone that you guys watch on a regular basis. I just want to say thank you. It has been an amazing time doing this, and I just want to say, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone that you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. Time to eat.